Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and in this video, I'm going to be giving you a full rundown on the Bitcoin price, and I'll also be updating you on the stock market today, because we're currently seeing new patterns and new signals form in the stock market, and also the US dollar currency index is getting a rejection from a key range of resistance, which is very important for all Bitcoin holders. So I'll be talking about all of that and more in this video. Definitely stick around. First of all, starting off on the daily Bitcoin chart, and nothing much has happened since yesterday on this chart because we're still seeing that bullish divergence here, which basically means we're seeing reduced bearish momentum here. And obviously, this has been the case over the past 1 week, especially. We've just been seeing choppy sideways price action, as I've been talking about. And alongside this bullish divergence on the daily Bitcoin chart, I've also been sharing this bullish divergence on the 2-day Bitcoin chart, which is also visible on the daily time frame. So once again, I'm mostly expecting more sideways choppy price action due to these bullish divergences, kind of like what we saw in the middle of last year or in the first quarter of this year, for example, basically choppy sideways price action once again. But if you really zoom into what's happening in the immediate shorter term, taking a look at the 6-hour Bitcoin chart, we attempted a breakout out of this symmetrical triangle pattern, but we did not see a lot of confirmation because, as I mentioned yesterday, ideally we need to see at least something like a 4-hour candle close, but we also need to see some sort of retest to flip this previous resistance into new support, and we did not see that confirmation. So due to the lack of confirmation, we couldn't really be confident that this was really breaking out to the upside, even though it was making an attempt. And obviously, at the time of recording this video, the Bitcoin price is making an attempt of breaking to the downside now, but once again, we haven't seen a lot of confirmation just yet. And in fact, if the Bitcoin price keeps chopping around sideways here, it's quite possible that this pattern would simply be invalidated without either price target being met. But if you want to know the technical price targets for this pattern, if we do somehow end up breaking out to the upside, even after this small fake out to the upside, then the technical price target would be coming in at around 36,000. But if we break to the downside, so basically if we confirm this break to the downside that we're seeing at the moment, then the technical price target would be coming in at around 25,000 approximately, basically revisiting those previous lows that we set around a week ago. But zooming back out to the daily Bitcoin chart, we also have to keep in mind that we still have a lot of support sitting at around $28,000 to $30,000 per Bitcoin, which is simply based on the same support region we've seen pretty much all of last year holding up the Bitcoin price. And so the bottom of this range of support coming in at around $28,500 per Bitcoin is a price level that I will be paying strong attention to, because if the Bitcoin price confirms a break back below 28,000 approximately, then that would significantly increase the probability of the Bitcoin price revisiting that 25k low. And in that scenario, obviously we'll drop back into this massive accumulation range set in between the 1,000-day moving average and the 200-week moving average, which are currently coming in at around 28,000, just above 28k, and around 22,000. And in case you're new to this channel, the reason why these two moving averages are important for Bitcoin is if you simply zoom out to the weekly time frame, looking at pretty much Bitcoin's entire price history, you can see right here that pretty much every single time where the Bitcoin price enters in between these two moving averages, that gives us an amazing accumulation range. And seriously, some of the best Bitcoin buying opportunities in Bitcoin's entire history have occurred in between these moving averages, specifically a little bit closer towards the 200-week moving average, usually marks the bottom for a significant bearish move like a full bear market like 2014 or 2018, which is why I've been mentioning on this channel time and time again that my personal Bitcoin strategy is to simply accumulate more Bitcoin than normal if we drop into this accumulation range in between 28,000 and 22,000, and the closer we get down towards the 200-week moving average, the heavier I will be going into Bitcoin. But I want to make it clear that is not financial advice, that's just telling you what I am doing with my own money. And with that being said, taking a look at the Nasdaq 100 index on the 4-hour time frame, and right now we're actually seeing a bullish divergence form right here. So technically speaking, this could be a good sign for the stock market in the shorter term, because remember, this is only on the 4-hour time frame, not exactly a large time frame. And considering the fact that the Bitcoin price is heavily correlated with what the stock market is doing, this is also technically good for Bitcoin in the shorter term as well, because what it actually means is we should be due for reduced bearish momentum in the stock market, at least in the shorter term, once again looking over the next few days, for example. Because if you're looking at the last few bullish divergences we've seen on this chart right here on this time frame, we saw one during the middle of March, which resulted in a lot more bullish price action, but that was followed by 2 other bullish divergences which were very short-lived. Looking right here, for example, we formed a slight lower low in the price action and a slight higher low in the RSI, and that only ended up reducing bearish momentum for just about 1 day until we continued on with this bearish trend. And then we saw another bullish divergence right here where we saw a lower low in the price and a higher low in the RSI, and that did end up reducing bearish momentum just in the shorter term, once again looking over the the next 1 to 2 days, we saw a slight bullish move in the stock market up towards this level of resistance. So that's just to give you an idea of what we could expect moving forward in the shorter term for the stock market. But if you zoom out to the weekly time frame for the Nasdaq 100 index, we just confirmed the fact that we were oversold on the weekly time frame looking in the weekly RSI. And what is really interesting is the stock market wasn't even this oversold during the March 2020 crash, which was a very severe crash, and during the 2018 bear market as well. We didn't even see the RSI get to the levels that we're sitting at right now. And looking at the DXY, which is the US dollar currency index on the weekly time frame, and you can see that over the past 1 week and this week so far, we have seen a bit of a rejection from the high that we set at around 105 in the DXY. And this is very close to those 2 previous highs that we set over the past 5+ years. So just by going off history, this is a very common area on the chart for the price to turn around at. And the reason why the US dollar currency index is a very important chart to keep in mind is because it usually predicts bull markets and bear markets very well. For example, when the US dollar currency index is moving to the upside, that is usually more of a bearish time for crypto. So back here, for example, that massive spike in the US dollar currency index that happened during the 2014 bear market entering into 2015, which was pretty much a sideways year for crypto. And then obviously Bitcoin went on to play out that massive 2017 bull run, one of Bitcoin's most famous bull cycles. And if you're looking at the US dollar currency index during that same bull run, that was this period right here. That was the entire year of 2017 as the US dollar currency index was moving to the downside after getting a rejection from this range of resistance. And then pretty much at the beginning of 2018, crypto entered into a massive bear market, which was this time period right here. When the DXY was obviously moving to the upside, crypto was bearish. And that continued all the way up until early 2020, which was that March 2020 crash that spiked the US dollar currency index back up towards this previous high. And then it was that point right there where the Bitcoin price bottomed out at around 3.8K that the US dollar currency index reversed into a massive downtrend on the weekly time frame. And during this entire time period right here, which was during the rest of 2020 and entering into early 2021, the Bitcoin price had a massive bull run. And then that initial bull run up towards that 65K all-time high that we set during April last year came to an end as the US dollar currency index started bottoming out during that same time period and reversing back to the upside. And obviously during this time period, during this massive pump in the DXY, we've seen a lot of bearish price action for Bitcoin and crypto overall. So the fact that the DXY is now getting a strong rejection on the weekly time frame from this historical range of resistance where we normally see strong rejections, this could potentially be an extremely bullish signal, especially if it continues, because in that scenario, that would mean the next Bitcoin bull run isn't too far away. And in the meantime, if you want to maximize your profits in crypto, check out one of these uploads popping up right here on your screen, because in both of these videos, I reveal how I continue to make money in crypto no matter what prices are doing. But anyway, that is it for this update. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.